I spend most of my days creating content for social media channels. Even though much of my work is spent outside in fantastic locations, my mind is always occupied with creating great content. So when I get the chance to put down my phone and switch off my head, I love the peace and quiet of remote walking trails, where I get to take in the silence and explore the countryside without having to think. And I love it. This week, I'm doing exactly that in Ireland's ancient east. I'm walking 2 trails in the beautiful County Wicklow. The first walk is along St. Kevin's Way from Balnegee Bridge to Glendalough. My second walk is along the lush Avonmore Way from Trooperstown Forest along the Wicklow lowlands to Avondale near Rathsdrum. My name is Roz Purcell and this is my Tracks and Trails. County Wicklow is home to some of Ireland's best walking and hiking routes. With spectacular scenery and literally hundreds of trails, Wicklow is one of Ireland's best walking counties. There is every type of trail you can imagine, from waterside to mountain to gentle incline to lush forest walks. Whatever kind of walking mood you're in, you'll find a trail to match. Today I'll be taking on St. Kevin's Way, the same trail St. Kevin himself took through the Wicklow Mountains down into Glendalough. Now this trail is 26 kilometres long, but don't let that put you off. You can break it up into sections depending on your fitness level and how much time you have. I've never done it before, so I'm really looking forward to it. My first walk is an 11.5 kilometre section of St. Kevin's Way. It runs from Balnegee Bridge through forest trails and tracks to St. Kevin's Pool. From here, there's a climb to Turlock Hill, then a gentle descent to finish at Glendalough. I'm starting at Balnegee Bridge. This is only a few kilometres from the village of Lara, and even though there's civilization nearby, it has the feel of being remote and secluded. The initial stages of this walk are easy-going forest trails and fire roads. They're gentle underfoot and the entire route is clearly waymarked. Just follow the monk and you'll stay on track. One thing I like about this walk is its evenness. The tracks are all fairly level, the uphill sections are all gentle inclines, the scenery is varied and changes quickly, which makes it interesting. The trail crisscrosses the road at various points, so I'm wearing visible clothing for this walk, which I'd recommend. I'm loving how the landscape keeps changing here. This part of St. Kevin's Way doesn't attract as many hikers and walkers as other parts of Wicklow. You can go for miles here and not see another walker. If it's a little space and solitude you're after, this walk is perfect. The entire walk should take me about 3 hours. And when I'm doing a walk this long, I always take snacks with me to keep me going. Also, you'll be in and out of phone signal, so having a map already downloaded onto your phone is a wise move. At 3 kilometres into my walk, the water crossing's telling me I'm getting close to one of my first landmarks on this route. I'm arriving at a place called St. Kevin's Pool. It's an opening of freshwater pools in the middle of the forest. St. Kevin's Pool is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Walking up through the forest, you're getting a glimpse, looking in through the trees, of smaller rock pools leading up to this big wide opening. I can't believe that I've been hiking Wicklow for 7 years now and I've never come across this. St. Kevin's Pool is the largest of a series of natural spring water pools in this area. It's secluded and it's definitely worth a stop. Oh wow! Look at this! The pool is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. And it's a lovely kind of coppery brown colour. There'll be no swimming today. It is fresh, it is so fresh. And lovely mountain water. Oh, you know what I can't get over about here? It is so quiet. We haven't met anyone else along the trail. This is definitely going to be on my list for a nice little wild swimming spot. While the water at St. Kevin's Pool may be too cold for a swim today, I'm staying warm and keeping my energy for another type of bathing. I'm meeting Kat, and Kat is a forest bather. Kat, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm Roz, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So today we're going to be doing some forest bathing.
We will.
I'm not going to lie, I had to Google it. I was like, is she going to be bringing me swimming in the middle of the woods?
No.
Okay,
Don't
good.
worry.
Today is not the day for it.
No, we're bathing our senses in the atmosphere of the forest. So it's just using all of your senses, being mindful, slowing down, getting out of your head and more into your body.
What do you reckon down here?
Yeah, look at all the moss.
Yeah, God, this trunk is great.
Yeah.
When you're actually going by in detail, you can notice so much more
Exactly,
moss.
yeah.
And notice, like, on this one, there's so many different types.
So just now, put your hands on the bark of the tree and just really explore it with your sense of touch, taking in all the details.
There's so many different types of textures. Like, obviously, there's a moss that's kind of furry, and then there's a really, like a seaweedy moss. Yeah. And there's a kind of a bristly one.
You don't have to put words to it.
Yeah.
Just notice what's going on, and because as soon as you start putting words to it, you're getting back into your head.
Okay.
So just observe and notice what you feel. So just notice all the sounds that are going on around you, and it helps if you close your eyes so you don't get distracted by what you see around you. And just notice all the different sounds around your tree. So what do you notice?
This is very calm.
It is, yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where I definitely never stop and take time when I'm hiking. You know, I like to think that I do connect with nature, and in a way I do when I hike. I find it very meditative, one foot in front of the other, being in nature, getting it off my phone, but I don't stop to take any of it in. And even though I've obviously only done this for 3 or 4 minutes and, you know, connected with this one tree, I feel like I'm on a dating site and I'm connected with this tree. I feel slow down.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what forest bathing is all about.
Having filled up my senses and slowed my mind down, I'm leaving the forest sections of the trail behind me. From here on, it's open countryside and an easy climb to the top of Turlock Hill. That is beautiful. Turlock Hill used to be called Tomanina. It was renamed to Turlock Hill in the late 1960s. It's 681 metres high. This is the highest point of my walk. The rest of the trail is a downhill stretch through the Glendalough Valley to the famous Round Tower at Glendalough. I'm meeting Carol Code. She's responsible for the trails here and ensures the walking routes are constantly updated and maintained. Right, let's walk. God, Carol, I cannot get over this trail. I've hiked up Camadary, Turlough Hill, Balnegee. I've never come down through here.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh.
It's such an underused route, St. Kevin's Way, and it's so beautiful and there's so much contrast.
One thing I love about this trail is we have not met any other person along it on the way.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's just so nice to be out on your own and just not be meeting crowds everywhere.
And you would never get that on any other Wicklow trails.
Not at all. And we're a stone's throw from Glendalough, so it's literally over that hill there.
And it's actually such a lovely hike in terms of it's for beginners, it's a moderate hike, it's not exclusive to experienced hikers.
Not at all. No, I think people get put off because they see like a 28-kilometre trail and they think it's going to be really hard. But you can break it into sections and it's all quite easy. Like there's nothing tricky on St. Kevin's Way.
So it's made up of a mix of different types of lands.
Sure, yeah. So it's part of it is owned by National Parks and Wildlife. So we're on National Park land now. In the woodland, it tends to be owned by Co.Wicklow. And then there's private landowners who've given us access for the trail, which is really what brings it to life. Like without them, you'd have all these little sections that aren't
Yeah,
joined
and
up.
it wouldn't be joined up at all. So it really is down to the private landowners.
Throughout Ireland, really, our trails would be nothing without the access we're given by the private guys. It's just hugely generous of them. You know, generally they're allowing the public to walk through their place of work at their will, and it's extraordinary, really, that they do it. Okay, Roz, this is where I'm going to leave you. So you're going to head over the bridge and on down, and it'll bring you down into Glendalough, and enjoy it.
Well, Carol, thanks so much for bringing me along the way.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Enjoy your day.
After walking with Carol, I'm thinking how we often take our country's walks for granted. The land we walk on isn't always public land. Staying aware that it can be private land on different stretches makes me appreciate it even more. Yet another scenery change, this time through the remnants of an old mine. Here, the ruins of the miners' shelters and cottages are still scattered around the landscape, making it very atmospheric and movie-like. And in fact, this part of Wicklow has been host to numerous movie sets throughout the years. However, today, it's home to peace and quiet and the sound of this walker's footsteps.
What a view. So far along the way, this is probably what I would think is the best vantage point along St. Kevin's Way. You're getting a really nice view down to Glendalough Valley, and it's probably not a view that you're used to seeing. It's from a total different perspective, and it's lovely and quiet. You can see the trail as it winds down through. You got a mix of stone steps, some boardwalk down there. Pretty nice way to finish the hike. Another descent and the landscape becomes more lush and rich. I'm on the home stretch now, and the last few kilometres will take me all the way into Glendalough's monastic village. Glendalough is one of Ireland's most famous sites, and it's usually busy with hundreds, if not thousands, of visitors every day. What's unusual about this walk is it takes me straight to the Round Tower in Glendalough, but through the back gate, and I have the place all to myself.
What a hike to do. So I have to say, usually when I come to the Wicklow Mountains, I'm terrible for always going for the summits, and I rarely take some time to weave through the mountains like St. Kevin's Way.
You get such a nice mix of landscapes. You also get some great vantage points looking down to Glendalough Valley without having to climb any mountains. And one of the best things about it is, a bit like what St. Kevin wanted,
Lots of peace and quiet. And I've ended my hike with a great view too.